It is that time of the year, and this is my annual top 10 strongest characters according to law 2022 Sumeru edition. But this time, there's a small twist. I will explain the powers of who I think are the top 10 strongest playable characters as of 3.2 patch at their prime according to law. And oh, you were expecting me to rank them? No. You will be the one in charge of ranking them in the comments this time. I want to see the carnage. I know how stupid the community can be when it comes to rankings. Okay, let's lay out some ground rules. First and second row. As I said before, all the characters are playable. There are way too many overpowered characters in this world now that it wouldn't give a single regular character a chance. Add 4 shades, Primordial 1 and 5 Archons. There, you have your top 10 list. And these playable characters have to be from either 3.2 or before, because as of writing this video, 3.3 is not out yet. As if I would put that scum on my list. Third row. I know some of you, not you, because you are at least watching the rules, skip the explanation and act as if you know all. If you see someone like that in the comments, do remind them how useless and stupid they are to think I have already ranked them. Rule number 4. No Traveler. 2 OP canonically. Okay, I will analyze these characters' physical strength, mastery over the elements, strategies, stamina, and other various skills to show these 10 deserve to be on the top 10 list. Well, without any more talking, let's get on with the list. First group of characters belong to the god tier category because they are all literal gods except for one guy who got here by chance. But is it? Number 1. Rex Lapis. Zhongli, Morax, Rex Lapis, God of Contracts, or whatever you want to call him. Since the era of the Archon War, Morax was the strongest Archon to ever exist. During this time, he defeated Osael, a god tier 9-headed Hydra, and by doing so, created the Goyun Stone for us. As you can see in this shot, Osael's head reaches the rain clouds, which means the visible part of his body is that tall. The cloud category that produces rain and snow, like these ones, are usually about 2000 meters above ground level. So in return, Osael's entire body is, at the very least, 2000 meters tall, which is more than 2 Burj Khalifas stacked on top of each other. This might be a bit exaggerated because cinematics sometimes exaggerate reality to show the severity of the situation. But it's still fun to imagine Prime Zhongli throwing Burj Khalifa-sized spears at Osael. Fighting this thing head-on would be far enough of a feat. But then he went on to seal Ashtar, a possible Dragon Lord from a past era who fought with the Primordial One under the tree in Nantian Men, and sealed the Dragon Sea in Qingsa village, and defeated the rest of the gods who didn't either kill themselves or killed by someone else in the Archon War. All this is before getting the Geognosis. So with it, only a handful of people can overpower him. Standing over 6,000 years, Morax has the highest experience in combat out of all the Archons alive, and as the Lord of Geo, he has absolute authority over Geo element, so every mountain and rock is his weapon. But his signature weapon is the Vortex Vanquisher, which can supposedly pierce rainbows. I don't know what kind of math to use here, so let's leave it at that.
To cleanse the land and defend our safe harbor. That was the first contract in Liyue. And now, the final contract too has been set in stone.
Number 2. Raiden A. God of Eternity, or Raiden A, is another god who survived the Archon War. Although Makoto, A's twin, is the original Archon, after attaining Archonhood, Makoto resurrected A. Then after Makoto's death during the Cataclysm 500 years ago, A became the new Archon. Although Makoto was the victor in the Archon War, A was the twin with battle experience. While Makoto looked after their people, A was on the battlefield. Most people underestimate A's combat power, but if you dig deep enough, her power is beyond imagination. The most notable feat she has achieved is accidentally splitting Yashiori Island while killing Orobashi with a single slash. But this is just the bare minimum damage she can do. It is said that she maintained a ring of lightning around Inazuma since the start of the Sakoku decree. If you draw a ring around Inazuma like this, using 1 meter in-game distance equals 160 meters canonical distance, I came up in this video using Quelli Plain to Wangshu in canonical distance being 60 miles. The ring is roughly 2,700 kilometers. So considering one lightning bolt carries around 5 gigajoules of energy, which Wikipedia says is energy stored in 38 gallons of gasoline. Whatever the total is, it's a lot of energy to passively output 24/7 along that 2,700 kilometer ring. I'm scared to calculate the value because I don't know how often or how many lightning bolts strike in one instance. But then in Imperatrix Umbrosa Act 2, Shogun says these lines.
The time our duels took to fight was long enough to witness the rise and fall of nations. The energy they consumed, great enough to vaporize the oceans and turn day into night.
Assuming turning day into night means killing the sun, we can calculate how much energy the two of them release in their 500-year-long battle. The sun outputs 3.8 times 10 to the power 26 joules every second, and the sun's lifespan is 10 billion years. So, it will output a whopping 38 septillion terajoules of energy within its entire lifetime. A and Shogun's battle is the reason for this absurd amount of energy. So, it's no wonder the entire ocean could be vaporized by it. Good thing they fought in Makoto's realm of consciousness, a plane separate from both time and space principles. The physics of this world might work differently relative to Earth. Also, there's a problem that we still can't answer, like, is the sun we see a genuine star from outer space, or is it also a fake like the moon? So take the number with a grain of salt and only remember that they are really freaking strong. Her signature weapon is engulfing lightning, but after Makoto's death, she used the Muso Ishin, which houses a fragment of Makoto's soul and his entire consciousness. Also, since she is the god of eternity, the concept of time becomes murky. So when Makoto and A, the polar opposites of eternity, come together, they make a quantum superposition that can defy the heavenly principles of time.
Eternity extends time into infinity. Dreams illuminate each moment within. When both shine in unison, the sacred Sakura blooms from the darkness, finally free from the clutches of the heavenly principles. Now the nightmare has dissipated, and reality is made whole. The vision we both yearn for is still further ahead. My only regret is that I cannot witness Inazuma's future, nor can I walk this journey with you.
Number 3. Nahida. Although Nahida is not as old or strong as A or Zhongli, she is the god of wisdom and dreams. I said at the beginning that this time it's not only about power and strength, but also strategy and tricks. She can enter dreams and manipulate them to some extent. She can also read people's minds, giving her huge advantage over any conscious creature. More than any tricks and skills, Nahida's ace is her connection to the elemental tree. Every single drop of knowledge that originated in Teyvat is linked with her, and she can access all of them whenever she wants. The Gnosis is just an ornament of position for someone like Nahida, who is connected to the world itself. When she searched for our twins' info in the leyline network, she has already given up the Gnosis to Dotore. So, other than fulfilling its role as a pillar in the Tree of Life and powering the Akasha system, which is a mini leyline network of sort, it has no purpose. But her connection to the tree is also a double-edged sword. If the tree gets corrupted, it can also affect her, and vice versa, like the Rukadevata situation.
We all nestle under the great tree of wisdom, peering out to perceive the world. From the earth and from the rain, we perceive its wonders, until we become a white bird to perch atop a branch, and finally snap off the most important leaf.
Number 4. Venti. Canonically, the weakest Archon, even as one of the originals. Let's get this over with. I get it. He didn't resist Senora's ice attack, but man, is that the only valid point you have to say to defend this guy? I'm the person dissing him here, and yet I can come up with more positive points than that. Undoubtedly, he is the weakest Archon compared to the three I talked about earlier, and probably even weaker than the high-ranking Harbingers who have actual power equal to a god. His combat records show 0 one-on-one battles. From the very beginning, he had some sort of support to take damage for him or do damage on his behalf. During the old Mondstadt rebellion, he used Decarabian's own people against him, and during the aristocracy period 1,000 years ago, he used Veneza as his champion to overthrow the Lawrence clan. During the Cataclysm, he used Divalan to fight Durin, and most recently, us, Diluc, and Jean helped him deal with his own mistake. He might have given backup, but never confrontational like Morax vs Osael or A vs Orobashi. The concept of manipulating others around him to achieve something is written in his blood. In one of my recent videos, I theorized about Venti being a cursed Seelie, pitied by the shade of time. The duty of a Seelie was to guide and teach humanity. So if I go back and switch the word used with the word guided, this will be much less aggressive and sensible. He is innately good at manipulating people. Other than that, there are only a handful of achievements he have achieved with his own power, which was non-existent at the beginning. Sure, he did blow away the snow from Mondstadt and accidentally created the Golden Apple Archipelago after getting the Gnosis. But anyone who got the Gnosis would have done that, right? His power doesn't lie in his raw strength, but rather his tricks. It's actually canon that he is a trickster. This is why I relate Loki to him a lot. Loki is more or less the person who started Ragnarok, like Venti being the Archon of the region we started on.
In the smoke, a despot met his doom. And we watched as his great tower fell none too soon. Mondstadt began anew, the story passed down, and since then never has another worn its crown.
Moving on, we have the demigod tier characters. It's where all the mythical creatures like adepti and yokai will be. Number 5. Ganyu. Ganyu is one of the only half-adepti to have lived for more than 3 millennia. The way mythical creatures' bloodline works is different from regular people's. Typically, the older someone gets, the more fragile they become. But because adepti live for many millennia, the older they get, the stronger they are. Since the end of the Archon War 2000 years ago, Liyue has been at peace. Except for the Yakshas, all the other adepti are just chilling now. Ganyu had no reason to keep her training up. I mean, she has been a secretary for the cheesing for the past 2 millennia. Of course, she has no time to keep fighting and cultivating her skills. But still, she does have the bloodline of one of the highest ranking adepti. That's why her skills are sloppy, but hits like a truck when it hits. Merit-wise, there is very little to say. She did participate in the Archon War on Rex Lapis's side since the beginning, so she should have been strong enough to keep up with all the other full-blooded adepti, and also choke the monster with the sheer size of her hips.
Liyue Harbor feels even lonelier than Jueyun Karst. When I look at the sea of clouds in Jueyun Karst, I merely feel the loneliness of a solitary cloud gazer.
Number 6. Xiao. The only surviving Yaksha out of the 5 Yaksha given the task to purge all demonic creatures made by the dead god's miasma. He is said to be feared by all mortals and gods alike, but was also enslaved by a god to fight for him. So there is much to question about the reality of his power, because people like these exist who blindly worship adepti, saying things like they came from Celestia. But still, he's an adepti, so he's much more capable than your average vision wielder. Truth be told, there are no records of any specific enemy he fought against, other than fighting for the evil god, then fighting under Rex Lapis's faction after he freed the Yaksha, and after the war, killing the corrupted monsters. There is no merit specifically under his name.
These Yakshas, we must fight for this world. General Alatus, falling in!
Number 7. Yae Miko. She is a kitsune, and each century they live in will add one additional tail until 9. Each one will give them an increase in power too. Miko currently has 5 tails, which means she is over 500 years old, and her strength should be also equal to that. Even though there is no proper measurement for her potential, I'm sure she can handle herself better than Ito, Yanfei, and Kujusara, the remaining playable mythical creatures, and obviously the majority of the human characters. As far as we know, her strength lies in her cunning strategies and ability to manipulate people, not so much in her combat prowess.
Surely you don't think your ambition alone is enough to shake A's will, do you? Though you alone are here, they too have ambitions, which they long since entrusted to you.
Number 8. Albedo. Although there are few non-human creatures such as demi-humans and elves, Albedo is the only non-human character I would put on this list, who is not a mythical creature. In the process of creating a Philosopher's Stone and reaching the primordial human state, as the second stage of the process, Gold produced a homunculi known as Albedo. So he is technically 1/4 of the primordial human, or an artificial alchemical primordial one. The primordial one is like the creator of playable, so if a fraction of their power can be artificially produced, it would be incredibly potent. Gold created Durin to discard all her failed creations, but Albedo's brothers survived in Durin's belly, so they both could be considered on par with Durin. I mean, the 4 brothers were created to replicate the 4 shades of the primordial one, so if they were weaker than Durin, Gold failed her experiment before even starting it. Then again, he asked us to stop him if he goes on a rampage in the future and tries to destroy Mondstadt. So he could be considered a country-scale disaster.
If you were the survivor, then as the abandoned experiment, the failure of the primordial human project, I'd want to replace you too.
The final 2 will be human characters who border on the line between are they humans or are they some kind of monster in human scale. Number 9. Child. There is no need to explain how battle-hungry Ajax is. As a kid, he fell into Abyss and was trained by Skirk. How Skirk is unknown, but she does have something to do with the Abyss Order. Child's vow legacy form resembles the Abyss Heralds and Lictors, so it's a no-brainer to assume they have something to do with each other. While training with Skirk, Tartaglia learned to use every weapon, excluding the bow, and his vow legacy transformation. His versatility in skills is just insane. Has a hydrovision that can take any shape he wants to boot his mastery over all weapons, given an electro delusion with the power output equal to a god by Saritsa. A delusion can output power equal to a god since it uses similar principles to Eremites but with dead gods instead. The bottleneck is how much a human can channel that power through their body. For more details on that, I recommend you watch these 2 videos about delusions and Eremite weapons. And then there is the Foul Legacy, which allowed him to channel both delusion and vision powers through his body using the power of the Abyss as a medium. It does strain his body, but in that form, he draws power from all 3 major factions of the Genshin world. Child's potential to grow is limitless. Take it with a grain of salt because it was from an event. But Paimon said he might be stronger than the Traveler in the Labyrinth Warriors event. So the day he achieved perfect mastery over all 3, he will be unstoppable.
This is going to cost you! Yeah.
Number 10. As the final member on this list, we have Shenhe. She has strength beyond a regular human. Yeah, that's about it. What did you expect? I have no more to say. Well then again, yes, she was trained by Ganyu's master, Cloud Retainer, so she has innate resistance towards adaptable energy. She was also born with the curse of calamity, which is why she has strength beyond the regular human. But with that power, her emotions also become homicidal, which is why she wears red robes to keep that nature at bay. She hasn't pushed her physical strength to the limit, but she has carried this chunk of Sunset Vermilionite by herself. According to Paimon, it weighed well over 1,000 pounds. about 450 kilograms, which is not much considering the world record is about 2000 kilograms. But when you consider she carried through a mountain path without breaking a sweat, it is impressive. But more than that, she pushed her absolute limit while freezing a tsunami tide solid. In this shot, we can see that the wave was even higher than the jet chamber. So assuming it as high as that and its width is more or less the same, we can calculate the energy she used to freeze that wave. Using Ningguang's hangout, the jet chamber stands at 223 meters above ground. So we can assume 250 meters above sea level. So the wave was 250 meters tall. For ease of calculation, let's say she only froze 1 meter thickness of water. Therefore, she froze 62,500 cubic meters of water, which is 62,500,000 liters. It takes 333 kilojoules to freeze 1 liter of water. So Shenhe exerted 20.8125 terajoules of energy to freeze that amount of water. A lot, yes, but compared to Raiden's 38 septillion terajoules, this is nothing. That is it for the top 10 strongest playable characters in Genshin Impact as of 3.2 according to their lore. Honorable mentions are Ito and Oni, Sara, Tengu Warrior, Klee, just because she's Alice's daughter, Yelan, who is on par with Pantalone and Ito, and Beidou, who defeated Haishan. And that is the end. I do have a general idea of where each character should be, but now it is your time to rank them in the comments. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Actually, you know what? Calculating all these numbers that makes no sense to someone who doesn't have some knowledge of physics was really fun. Anyway, leave a like, hit my face here to subscribe. Let's get that small number to a big number. Check out these other videos. In the meantime, I decided to stream on YouTube from now on, so catch me live next time. Anyway, I've been Nakamin. Thanks for watching, and until next time, let your imaginations run wild.